God.
How's it going, everybody? And welcome to the Liberty Bowl. So, sorry we're running a little bit late. We had a bit of a hiccup there with the audio. Of course, it's always something with this Rumble Studio, it seems. But either way, we're here. How's it going, everybody? Welcome. It is, as of course, Friday. And as you guys know, every Friday we come together here. We talk about all the news that's been going on throughout the week, kind of give you guys a little bit of a recap, kind of share our opinions and stuff like that. Of course, smoke some herb and, have a good time. But anyway, joining me as always is my co-host here, Liberty Swine. How you doing today, man?
Damn fine, brother. Enjoying it, out here running it, brother. How about you?
Shit, enjoying this this climate change that we have going on here in Arizona, man. It was fucking more rain this year than I've seen out here in ages. Fucking cold as shit today, man. All right, random as fuck, man. But anyway, we got quite a treasure trove of some news going on today. Of course, big news breaking this morning. The Judge McAfee in the Fani Willis case has basically ruled that the rule of law only applies one way, and basically, Fani Willis, as long as she just recuses her boy toy Nathan Wade, then she's gonna go ahead and continue on as planned. Right? We're gonna be talking about that. We're gonna be talking about Pittsburgh effectively defunding the police and basically telling the citizens about it. So basically, they're going to be having like 20 officers to cover the entire city during the overnight hours. They're also going to be installing boxes where you can press and call for help, but unfortunately nobody's going to be working them, so it's not going to matter. Nobody's going to come, but you can leave a nice report, and in Pittsburgh of all places, I'm sure that's going to work out totally fine. We'll be talking about the TikTok ban or divestment, however you choose to look at it. We'll be talking about the debate kind of going on in the right-wing sphere over that. We'll also be talking a little bit about the Haitian barbecues going on down there in Haiti. We also have a bit of a display of the clear double standard of justice that we have here in America with the Robert Hur testimony that, of course, went down in Congress during this week. We'll be talking a bit about that. But starting out the breaking, well, I guess not breaking, but this part of the news. Actually, I had the news story pulled up, but seeing as we had to restart everything, I got to re-pull it back up. But the breaking news: the whistleblower from Boeing. All right. As you guys know, he was found dead a couple days ago from an apparent suicide in his car. Right. And we all know how that ends up going. It seems fishy from the start. But apparently some news came out today basically revealing that he actually did what a lot of these high profile people do. The Elon Musks, the Tucker Carlsons, all these people that basically, get, I guess, politically persecuted. He basically put out a statement to somebody saying that if anything happens to me, or actually, I got the quote right here. If anything happens to me, it's not a suicide, right? So,
Pretty clear,
right? Yeah, it's pretty basic. We also got a video of it as well too. Well, I guess not necessarily a video of it, but I'll pull that up right now. But yeah, definitely some crazy shit, man. What's your thoughts on the old Boeing fiasco?
Well, pretty obvious he was Arkansas-sided, man. Especially when within so long beforehand, he's letting you know if something happens, I am not suicidal, and then the next thing they're like, oh, he killed himself. I mean, it's pretty obvious. It's seen it a million times. It's it seems to be happening more and more, as time goes on here, man.
The leading cause of death among elite.
Yeah, and this is things that you're supposed to only see like in Russia and China and whatnot, Soviet states, but here we are.
Right. So of course, Boeing isn't exactly known for being the most, I guess, human-friendly company. They make everything from planes, bombs, all kinds of military weaponry and stuff like that, as well as commercial airliners and stuff. And as we do know that they have been in the news quite a bit recently over a lot of faulty parts and actual catastrophic failures going on mid-flight on some of their Boeing jets, right? So of course, this guy, let me pull it up. He worked, I think it was 32 years, something like that. Yeah, 32-year tenure with the company until his retirement in 2017. Yeah, and I guess he was part of a inspection, something like that. Let's see, Barnett had accused Boeing of neglecting safety concerns and retaliating against him for his disclosures. Okay, wait. Yeah, but anyway, he was basically one of the people that more or less kind of inspected the parts with Boeing. Like I said, he was there for 32 years, and then he I guess he had a moment of principle and basically decided to come out as a whistleblower. And yeah, as you know, Boeing, they human life is cheap to them, to put it lightly. Right? Absolutely crazy ass shit, man. But we go and pull up the little video they got right here. All right.
I know that he did not commit suicide. There's no way.
First tonight, our investigative reporter Ann Emerson has new information in the death of Boeing whistleblower John Barnett. A close family friend of Barnett says he predicted he might wind up dead, that a story could surface that he killed himself. But he told her, don't believe it. And
Tessa, Barnett's family friend Jennifer said they had talked about this exact scenario playing out, but his words seemed like a premonition. He told her, don't ever believe it.
I knew John because his mom and my mom are best friends. And so over the years, get-togethers, birthdays, celebrations, and, whatnot, we've all got together and talked, and, that's how we really know each other.
And when Jennifer needed help one day, Barnett came by to see her. They talked about his upcoming depositions in Charleston. Jennifer knew he filed an extremely damaging complaint against Boeing. He says the aerospace giant retaliated against him when he blew the whistle on unsafe practices. For more than 30 years, Barnett was a quality manager. He'd recently retired and moved back to look after his mom in Louisiana.
He wasn't concerned about safety because I asked him, I said, aren't you scared? And he said, and his voice and the way he would talk, no, I ain't scared. He said, but if anything happens to me, it's not suicide. I know that he did not commit suicide. There's no way. He loved life too much. He loved his family too much. He loved his brothers too much to put them through what they're going through right now.
And he basically told you not to believe it.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Not true. He's got too much to do, likes breathing. And he did. He had a lot of plans of things that he wanted to do.
What do you think happened?
I think somebody got in there and made, money can buy anything nowadays, it seems like. And there's a lot of evil in this world. I think somebody didn't like what he had to say and wanted to shut him up and didn't want it to come back on anyone. So that's why they made it look like a suicide.
The last time she saw Barnett, it was at her father's funeral in late February. He was one of the pallbearers. Sometimes family and friends referred to him by his middle name, Mitch.
I think everybody is in disbelief and can't believe it. And I told everybody that I don't care what they say. I know that Mitch didn't do that.
And just because John Mitch Barnett is dead doesn't mean this case won't move forward. His attorneys say they're still prepared to go to trial in June. Working for you, Ann Emerson.
All right. It sounds pretty clear. It sounds like the person was actually pretty, connected to them. Sounds like they had a pretty, like I say, good connection to them. It definitely doesn't sound like the dude was suicidal at all. And, as I said, this seems to be the new norm that a lot of these high profile people that are basically going against the machine seem to be doing. And in this case, it looks like it may have actually worked. Now, as to whether or not anything's going to come of this, as to whether or not it's even going to get investigated at all, I mean, the person that did the autopsy has already ruled it as a suicide, and we know that that's, you know, it seems to be the norm in terms of Arkansiding people within you know, our government. But well, you know, at least we're starting to see a lot of the conspiracy side of stuff being played out, you know, in front of everybody for everyone to see.
Yeah, it's definitely right there. They're not hiding shit. You see it across the board as far as anything with you know, the oligarchy is concerned.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Like, you know, it's, I don't know. I mean, obviously, it would have been it's damning to Boeing either way. I think, you know, at least in terms of the customer trust. You know what I mean? Now, like, not only the fact that, okay, well, you know, their stuff is being subpar. A lot of their fucking people working on the shit are all diversity hires and DEI, this and that's right. And then at the same time, well, they also murder people indiscriminately. So I mean, that might shake up a little bit of, you know, customer trust. I already know a lot of people, you know, especially a lot of the high profile people that are out there, you know, flying cross country all day long, every single day. A lot of those people have said straight out, like, I will never fly on a fucking Boeing plane. Like, I don't give a fuck that shit, you know. But yeah, so we'll see how it ends up playing out. But obviously, some fishy stuff, to say the least.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's follows the trend for sure, bro.
Right. It's it really is kind of funny too, just watching, you know, on both sides. It's not like it's just, you know, a Democrat thing. It's on both sides, you know, watching people's favorability and thinking like, we need to protect the whistleblowers and all this and that shit. But then when they're going against, you know, one of their donors, or when it's against, you know, somebody that they you know, happen to agree with or happen to be on their same political spectrum. Well, then actually, oh, he's a leaker. He's not a whistleblower. He's over there fucking spreading defamation and all this and that type shit, right? And it's just funny to see the dynamic that they go with, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, freaking crazy ass shit, man. Yeah, anything else you want to add on there before we move on down?
I mean, obviously, you know, people saying they're not going to fly on Boeing, they're not going to cruise around and be questioning the airline. Like, what kind of plane is that? You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's going to be pretty rare, man. And as far as, like, you know, the chick, dude, that's the first time I personally, you know, heard that video. And I mean, just hearing that chick talk almost like brings her credibility down slightly to me. And that's not to her from a story. Everything she said could be 100% true, but the vast majority of people that are connected to, you know, others that commit suicide, they're like the you know, a lot of the time. There's a lot of signs that tell you stuff like that, but you know, they're like, he didn't seem bad. It seemed like, you know, everything was fine. You know, but of course,
I guess just the thing that kind of puts it, you know, past the edge is the circumstances, you know.
Right.
You know,
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously, the dude's got a giant target on him.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. But yeah, if I can, I don't know. There's more people that are out there, you know, blowing the whistle on these, you know, high profile, elite machine lizards. You know, need to just probably put out a lot more statements, a lot more publicly, rather than just to somebody that you know or somebody that you're associated with. You know, it's probably just, you know, every time that you feel like you're going to go against the government, you should probably just put a disclaimer on social media or somewhere. Yeah, definitely not suicidal.
Right.
Fun fact, actually, random. I've actually never flown on a plane before, so there's that. And now I really don't feel like I want to anymore. You know. Like I said, there'd be the first flight jitters I'd be getting over, as well as the I don't know what color my fucking pilot is jitters that I'd also be having to get over as well. You know. Before anybody says anything, and it's not a racial thing. It's like I said, it's a DEI thing. It's the fact that these people are getting hired solely based on their melanin content or their sexual preferences, not necessarily based on how well they can fly a fucking plane. And when it comes to, having that many people's lives literally in your hands, I think it's pretty important that you're probably the best person for the job rather than the best skin color to look good on our fucking Christmas cards.
The quotas.
Right. Yep.
Mhm.
Good old diversity hires, man.
Right.
All right, fucking you want to talk about barbecue real quick, man?
Sure.
So, as you guys know, in Haiti, Haiti's going through a total fucking societal collapse. Oh my gosh, this is completely out of the blue. Nobody could have ever seen Haiti collapsing. Haiti, they're such a bastion of freedom and prosperity and good times for everybody, right? I mean, we even saw a lot of shit, who's it, Conan O'Brien and all those people going down there just to show you how great Haiti is, right? They went down to the resorts and all that shit to show you that things are great in Haiti. Well, surprise, surprise, it's actually not that great in Haiti, and actually they fucking collapsed several times over the last several decades. That's just kind of the norm because of the fact that, to quote Donald Trump, it's a shithole.
Supposedly, allegedly.
Right. Actually, my lady, she's from Florida, and she'll be the first one to tell you because they are inundated with Haitian migrants. It's a shithole. It's a shithole filled with shithole people. I mean, you can't necessarily fill a shithole with good people. That's not necessarily how it works. I mean, we're trying to do that in America, but
I had a good buddy back home that would holiday in Haiti. That guy would go there for like every Christmas. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's he said that's like Mexico. If you stay in the resort areas, everything's peachy and beautiful, man. You know what I mean? It's when you leave and walk down a side street that suddenly it gets dark outside.
Right. Yep. Yeah. If I can stay within the guided velvet ropes, guys.
Right. Armed security.
Right. But so anyway, the person that is rising to the forefront of I guess the political power vacuum that's taking place in Haiti right now happens to be an ex-police officer. I can't remember his full name, but he goes by the nickname Barbecue. And he seems to have gotten that name based off of an affinity for human flesh. Let that sink in for a second, all right? Of course, you're going to have the gaslighting from the Democrats and like, no, they don't eat human flesh over there in Haiti. They just do it as an intimidation tactic. that doesn't necessarily make it any better, but okay, point taken.
Like you eat human flesh or like you don't.
Right, right. So they're not doing it out of necessity. They're doing it because it looks cool.
And from what I understand, as long as they stay away from the brain and the spinal cord, everything's okay, man. As long as you don't get them fucking prions. You know what I'm saying?
Prions, man.
Fucking mad cow.
Right.
Mad cow barbecue.
Right, mad Haitian disease.
Right.
Yep. But definitely some crazy stuff there. Like I said, it's we're seeing it kind of take place in a lot of places in the world. And it's really it's I guess with the wave of I guess new political pressures that has come since being post COVID. And then at the same time, we also have geopolitical pressures all over. We have the climate change activists and all that type of shit going into these smaller countries and basically taking advantage of them. We have a whole bunch of stuff that's basically leading to this stuff. We'll actually get into some of that a little bit farther down. But I mean, we actually talk about it almost on a weekly basis here. But it's really just societal collapse right now. It's really just the turning of a new era. Right. And so, of course, we're going to start seeing a lot more of this. But what's your thoughts on old barbecue, man?
I mean, again, this is what you see happen in these third world fucking chat holes, dude. It's constant, revolution because anyone that becomes the voice of the people, like this current dude, Barbecue, he's claiming to be, the voice of the people. Apparently, he actually has quite a bit of support, whether that's through intimidation or because of necessity. These people want to be, part of what they consider to be the winning side, what have you. It devolves into this always savagery, fucking, I mean, it's again, the line. It's seen it a million times. It's
Yeah.
it's textbook fucking, collapse, third world shit,
Yeah.
socialist, communist shit, man.
Fucking
And
power vacuum.
yeah, I'll not, profess to be either. That's the mode of governance that seems to always happen in these lesser countries, man.
Yep. So what do you give to the idea that, I mean, it's obviously we see it taking place here, that it's basically the strong man, of course, when things collapse, that's basically the people that are going to come and rise and seize power, because of the fact that that's really, when you look at the state in general, that really is all that it is. It's just a gang but the people have legitimized it, much in the same way that the mafia and stuff used to charge people protection fees and stuff like that. Of course, those people, if you paid the protection fee, your store is never going to get broken into. Nobody's ever going to fucking try and rob you. Nobody's ever going to try and do shit to you. Matter of fact, other than more of the same mobsters are going to come and extort you a little bit more, but essentially that's basically the same thing as a state. You pay your taxes and it goes to fucking, funding all the militarized police and all this and that type of stuff. And essentially they're supposed to, keep society, safe, and, with law and order and stuff like that. They're supposed to be the enforcement arm of the government. But ultimately it's not necessarily the case here in America. So I think we're going to start seeing a lot more like vigilante style power vacuums rising up here in the states.
Obviously you have that possibility. I spoke on this, I think, last week, when I was spoken at a Pew Research poll where they did across 24 Western nations, right, considered to be democratic or what have you. United States being one of them. The normal, Germany, UK, yada yada. This is obviously a massive election year across the West. Populism surging, and in this poll, 80% of respondents said that they have lost confidence in democracy, whether it be the process or the repercussions, because the leaders don't listen, right? And 90% of that 80% polled went on to state that they feel we need a strong, the West needs strong leaders to step in that is willing to bend and break the law if need be, to like rein the West back into order. And when you get shots like this and you see these weak wrists, this is not the leader that they're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Do you really want strong leaders?
But do you really though?
I mean, with that strength and we've spoke on it again previously several times about, you almost have to resort to fascist tactics, at least somewhat or for a short while, to rein shit back in. And, I don't think people realize what that actually entails. It's always going to be barbary and savagery happening, man.
Yep. Fucking, I sent you that quote earlier. Shit, I forget the fucking philosopher who actually said it earlier, but it's basically, he came up with this idea of the cyclical nature of the state, and it's basically kind of describes something like that. He calls it anacyclosis. All right, and it's basically the basic, most common process of it is it goes from a monarchy into an aristocracy. From an aristocracy, it's going to turn into an oligarchy. From an oligarchy, it's going to turn into a democracy. From a democracy, it's going to turn back into an oligarchy, and then from an oligarchy, it turns. Fuck, I forgot what the last one was. I think that was after the oligarchy one is a collapse, something like that. But that's basically his description of the general way that things kind of go, that the process of societal maturation and stuff like that. It's actually pretty interesting stuff. Like I said, I kind of stumbled across the theory today, so I'm not, like I said, I'm not too sharp on the details of it, but like I said, that's the basic structure of how he breaks it down. And we're kind of seeing that going on all over the place, all over the damn world. The entire place is collapsing, and it's really has to do a lot with the fact that the, I guess, economic divide has grown so vastly, and that's basically what leads to these types of cyclical things, right? So right now, I'd say we're probably in an oligarchical stage, right? I'd say probably during the whole civil rights movement, the post World War II movement, and stuff like that. We were kind of in the more of the democracy style stage with the whole like I said, the civil rights movement, all that type bullshit. Welfare, all that fucking post World War II stuff. And I think basically we've moved past that part, and I think now we're full on into the oligarchical stage again. So I think the next step after that, of course, if it goes by the same patterns that have been pointed out, I think we're probably headed to the collapse part afterward.
Yeah, you definitely like that one. But I've said it before. I think it can easily be saved. It's just going to take some fucking brains, some tactics, and some willing to have the finger pointed at you. And who gives a fuck what they and scream? You just got to roll along, man. And that seems to be the vast majority of issues with any representatives that lean right of Stalin, is that they're horrified or what they're going to be called or what the New York Times is going to write about them, rather than doing what's right for the country, their constituents, yada yada. And it's not always. I mean, obviously, quite a bit of it, vast majority, is about retaining and usurping power, but it's also about self-preservation and shit. You know what I mean? They want to be able to live a regular life, whether they leave office or what have you, and they're too afraid of the labels. You know what I'm saying? And you just got to get some dude with nuts that don't give two shits, like a Matt Gaetz. Call me what you want, dude. I'm going to do what these people elected me to do, regardless if you like it or not, man. And those are the guys that always either get blacklisted or they, like with Gates, they start a bunch of rumors and shit. You know what I mean? Like, he's involved in child trafficking. You know what I'm saying? Like, get the fuck out of here, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, fucking. Well, I don't know. Like I said, I'm long on the United States, but I don't think there's too much of a fixing of this system. Not to be too black pilled, but I mean, shit. The next couple of ones that we're gonna get into probably black pill you just a little bit, at least. At least to the revitalization of the system in its at least more or less kind of original state. I think that that the America is still going to be here. I think the people are still going to be here. I think a lot of the same philosophy of America is still going to stand, but I think that it's going to take, a major change. I think that we've come to the point where we have so many laws on the books that half of them contradict each other. Half the time, shit, every single part of the Constitution has been contradicted, like all of it, and so I think we're that basically it's at the stage where it's headed toward full on collapse. Right. So I guess a kind of a sign of that. I mean, shit, pick your poison. Which one you want to go to? You want to go to Pittsburgh defunding the police? You want to talk about Fani Willis, or you want to talk about Robert Hur? I mean, any one of those three would be a great segue into the I guess black pilled reality that we're living in right now.
The quote justice system. Yeah, I mean,
Right.
lead off with whatever. I mean, obviously, the Fani's the biggest news of the day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
On that, dude, I'm good with that.
Yeah. So clearly, a perversion of justice. Going down there in Georgia. Fani Willis has obviously been let off scot-free by Judge Scott McAfee. All right. So of course, a lot of the stuff with this trial is just all wrong in general. I mean, Scott McAfee himself, fucking dude, looks like he's like my age. Then at the same time,
he was put on the bench there, man.
Yeah.
And he was appointed rather than elected, which normally they're elected there, but he was appointed because the seat was vacated.
Right. And then at the same time, I mean, shit, Nathan Wade has never even done a felony trial before. The dude is a fucking freshman, like still wet behind the ears, but still he's been granted. Right. So yeah, clearly a perversion of justice going on here. And as you guys are aware, we've talked about it on the show, and it's been all over the news the last couple of weeks. Fani Willis and Nathan Wade, which was the special counsel who has not done any sort of anything close to this trial, has never tried a RICO case, let alone a fucking felony case. So obviously they were sleeping together. They had their little thing going on, right? They actually lied about it as well too. They lied about it in motherfucking court. They lied about it, right? And then it, eventually ended up coming out. And everyone was expecting that, the judges obviously, well, this is a clear conflict of interest. There's no way that we can continue having you try this case. And more than likely, they just put in a different prosecutor, right? Of course, that would end up delaying the trial even further, which would put it past the November deadline, which is literally the entire point of the trial. That's the entire reason that they're trying to get this stuff done now, is because it needs to happen before the election, right? So if it gets pushed back any farther, then might as well just not even do it. There's not even a point at that point. So everyone was sitting there with fingers crossed, just waiting, like, oh, dude, this judge just has to fucking boom, bang the gavel. Obviously, it's clear to anybody that this is a clear conflict of interest. And at the same time, Fani Willis paid Nathan Wade quite a bit more than any of the other legal counsel, right? And obviously the reasons for that is because he was obviously paying for all of their trips, their lavish vacations, their cabins in the woods and whatnot. And the reason that he was able to pay that is because of the fact that Fani Willis was taking taxpayer money and paying him an exorbitant salary for being special counsel on the Trump case. So in essence, she was pretty much embezzling taxpayer money to fund her lavish lifestyle with her boy toy. And the judge decided, that's okay. Just get rid of him. He's not allowed to be a part of the trial no more. And we continue as usual. Nothing changes. Not even a slap on the wrist. Matter of fact, we're not even going to discuss the embezzling of taxpayer money. So that way you could go on lavish vacations and all this and that type shit. So that's not a black pill. I don't know what the fuck is, man.
You got to go back some, man. You got to, like, first, this dude, not only, the current situation, but he actually worked for old Fani, his second job out of college, man, in the complex trials division there. And under Fani Willis, dude, he also donated to her campaign to get her into her current position. You know what I'm saying? And then you see he tried to soften the blow with, like, 48 hours earlier. He dismissed 6 of the charges against the old Trumpsicles. And, then 48 hours later again, said, hey, you either have to recuse yourself or this guy has to be removed. And of course, everyone knew immediately what the choice was going to be. She's not going to give away the spotlight. And just like you pointed out several times there, dude had zero experience with the shit. So there's good possibility he would have fucking blew it anyway. And this is after them repeatedly perjuring themselves on top of the, the theft shit, the exorbitant $700,000 fucking, wage, which is, massive, especially for, an attorney with zero experience walking into it. I mean, this guy's like, one step above a paralegal as far as, this RICO and, felony, cases go.
This guy's not even qualified to go fucking get the coffee. Like,
yeah. And you seen old Gorilla Grip in there in court, man, throwing a fit. She went on, just rants about her favorite liquor and how everything's racisms. And I like, earlier I did a short episode this morning and pointed out this guy is now the face of fucking vagina. And he's either, completely corrupt or, he's afraid of the pushback of the whole, it's racisms, or it's a combination, which, I'm sure that is, the one. It's a combination of being a little fucking pudding cup and, being corrupt, man. That's his homegirl.
Right. Obviously, he's there. It's a clear indicator as to which side is more unhinged and more likely to be prone to violence, right? To put it lightly. I mean, the fact that he's willing to basically undermine justice in order to try Donald Trump, who has the support of more than half of the fucking country, but yet he's not willing to piss off the lefty fucking, the lefty minority, right? By basically doing anything that would sour their fucking grapes, right? Really just kind of lets you know, who's the actual unhinged fucking violent people.
And nobody rises to that station like Judge McAfee did at that age without being a pretty intellectual dude. But this so the shit that was said, there's no way that he bought it. Like as far as like the lavish vacations. Well, he didn't pay for them. It wasn't a gift. He didn't pay for them. It was a loan because I paid him back in cash because my
Right.
dad told me to keep fucking 15 racks of cash in my mattress. But dude, this is 2024. Who the fuck keeps cash stacks in their house, bro? You know what I
Right.
mean? It's pretty rare. You're probably a fucking dope dealer or money traffic or whatever the case, dude.
Embezzlement.
Right. And completely unclassy chick. She showed up to court wearing dresses backwards and shit, and like, you know what I mean? Just just uncouth. Yeah, again, talking about her favorite liquor in court, and they released it in court that her email is like gorilla grunt pussy, dude. I mean, this this is the system protecting the system. Like I said, this guy's been wrapped up with this chick for years. Meaning the judge and Wade, for that matter. That's another thing they lied about was that the time span in that relationship. But yeah, fuck, dude, complete corruption here, man.
You're right.
I'll smack you in the face like a ding dong.
Yep. Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, shit, fucking. I mean, you would. I don't know if you'd really expect that from Georgia. I mean, fucking. Who's the governor? Brian Kemp, right?
Is he still the governor? I'm not positive.
I don't
even
be. Yeah.
I don't even know.
Right. But yeah, fucking. You hate to see it happen, but you can't necessarily say that you were expecting anything different.
What's the comment there, man? Outlaw fucking 520. I keep seeing things on Twitter about a military takeover with the National Guard out in NYC. What do you guys think about that?
All right. So New York City, we actually talked about this a little bit last week. It actually wasn't on the agenda, but we did talk about it a little bit last week. So in New York City, of course, the violent crime has gotten out of control, especially down there in the subway. So they're sending the National Guard in to basically go ahead and guard the subways. They're not doing a very good job, seeing as just today somebody got shot in the face in the subway, and meanwhile, National Guard right there doing nothing. I don't know. I think I personally think that they're trying to like I said, they are trying to create chaos in order to get the people afraid. So that way, when the people are afraid, they're going to look to the state in order to create legislature to protect them. That's the vicious cycle of sacrificing essential liberty for a false sense of safety. And that seems to be the cycle that our government seems to keep pushing us toward. Right? They could easily stop a lot of this crime. They could easily stop the majority of crime that takes place here in America, but then nobody would need them. Nobody would want them anymore, right? Yeah, at the same time, if they would just get rid of a lot of the regulations, that basically block the community from being able to come together and protect themselves, a lot of these problems could be solved too. But that's not what they want. What they want is they want absolute control. They want total dependence. And so the way that they do that is they create chaos. The creation of chaos is going to stoke fear in society. From when society is afraid, they're always going to look to government to help them. And then the government's going to create policy. That policy is going to then in turn create more chaos. The more chaos is going to create more fear. The people are going to look to more policy. More policy is going to create more chaos, so on and so on and so on. I think that's basically what's going on. And I think that's their essential goal. That's how they increase their power dramatically.
At the goal, it's the Cloward Piven strategy, completely overwhelm the system to the breaking point, and the people beg for fucking communism, basically. And the left is hilarious because all authorities, fucking oppressions and racisms, and targeted harassment, right? Defund the police. When Trump supposedly, mentioned the National Guard during the Summer of Love, it was Trump's going to fucking sick the army on us because fascism's. But then when the left's in power and they can use it for their own means, you see they're rolling the motherfuckers into the subway where they're processing basically stop and frisk, which again was a Republican standard there for a few years in New York. And that's what helped cleaned up New York from the cesspool it was in the 80s and early 90s. And again, They're using it for their own means, so it's okay. And Hochul, the governor there, the reptilian fucking whore, has come out and said, if you don't want to be stopped and frisked in the subway, go home. In other
Right.
words, if
Don't go
you,
in the subway then.
yeah, you accept fucking tyranny or don't go to work, motherfucker. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah. That's they're giving you a choice, man. You're free to choose. That's freedom.
Right.
Right. That's that. Not even fucking exaggerating. That's seriously the type of mentality that they will, I guess, delude themselves with. They actually believe that. Like they actually believe that type of thinking, non-ironically. Yep.
Yeah.
But shit. Speaking of I guess lawlessness eventually leading to government needing to come in and crack skulls. I guess we could talk about Pittsburgh, man. Fucking Pittsburgh essentially has decided to go ahead and defund their police, at least just in the overnight hours, right? Because we all know that nobody commits crimes fucking between the hours of what, like fucking midnight and 7 in the morning, something like that. Like I forget what time it was exactly that they had set aside, but yeah, 3 to 7.
Yeah, basically, they're not taking calls. You'll get sent to an answering machine if you call 911s.
Right. It's quite literally like the Purge, except it's every night as opposed to one night a year.
Yep,
but
you get a few hours every night to fucking rampage, rob, steal, whatever, and everything's gonna be okay. Just make it home before sunsets, boys.
right. Yeah, fucking security systems. Shit. If you run a security fucking company, I'd suggest going out there. You're probably gonna make a lot of money. A lot of money right now.
For those hours, if you call and like say you're being robbed, they'll send you through a multi-step process to verify that there's an actual live suspect in the house before they'll even consider responding. So you'll be dead before the 911 calls even through. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's no longer, I hope I make it the 2 minutes. It's you're going to be on the phone for 10.
It's pretty much just it's so we could record your death. so we have evidence, right?
Wrap up, PA.
Right. And they've also said that they're not going to be actually sending people out for crimes like break-ins, robberies, stuff like that. Basically, they'll just take your report over the phone. Easy, nice, quick. It's not like they're going to actually catch the people anyway. It's not like they ever actually do catch the people. All they do is write a report. Why the fuck do we actually need to send somebody out there? That's fucking taxpayer money that we're going to be spending on man hours to actually have somebody go out there and actually write an actual report. You can write the report yourself. It's just like the same way with Walmart. Like, why are we going to pay people to ring up your shit, and then we're going to pay people to bag your shit? You could do both, motherfucker, and we don't have to pay you shit. Matter of fact, you pay us for the pleasure of doing our job. Like, that's essentially they're doing the same fucking thing with the police. The police is becoming fucking self-checkout now.
Yep. Motherfucker, I don't work here.
Right. What the fuck, man?
Yeah, man. Yeah, there's definitely gonna be some Mad Max shit happening there. If you think it's buck wild in Chicago, just wait. You ain't seen nothing yet. When they're announcing to the fucking the whole place, like, hey, man, no police between these hours. What do you think's gonna happen?
Right. Again, like I would even give them if they just did it quietly. If they looked at their numbers, like, dude, like we hardly get shit between the hours of 3 a.m. and 7 a.m. Like, I'm pretty sure we could probably handle this with 20 officers and about, like 5 people and a couple answering machines in the call center, right? They probably could have gotten away with it too. They probably could have functioned just fine like that, but no, they had to go out and say, hey, you guys, all right? So from now on, from the hours of 3 to 7, we're only going to have 20 cops. Just do it. Like, you don't have to announce it to the fucking world, You don't have to announce to everybody, like, hey, all right, you guys, our police, they're understaffed right now. They're underfunded. And basically a lot of the laws that we have really tied their hands. So you guys, just letting you know. All right. Who do you think you're actually letting know? Do you think you're letting the citizens know? Do you think you're giving them a warning? Or do you think that you're kind of letting the criminals know that we ain't got shit to worry about no more? Right? Who do you think is actually more glad that you guys reported that news? Who do you think benefits more from the reporting of that specific news? All right.
Yeah, Pittsburgh is actually fucking smaller than I thought it was, though. I mean, while the 20 officers obviously they have no chance, they only have a population in 2021 of just 300,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I really thought it was a bigger place than that, man.
Yeah.
I mean, but
Yeah.
still, 20 officers have no chance, you know. I mean, but
Yeah. Yep. They can. I don't know. What do you think the results is going to be? I mean, do you think it's going to be like a New York style type thing, where we're like, oh, well, we can't get any officers, so we'll just bring in the National Guard too.
possibly that could be the lead in there, man. But
Right.
I see theft rising first. That seems to be the trend, and then comes the violence, man. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like the theft is the test, dipping the toes in the water. Are they really going to come? Is this a setup? And they're
Right.
like, hell, no, buck wild, son.
Yep. It's the cycle, man. It's fucking shitty policy creates chaos, creates fear, creates the people's want for new fucking shitty policy, which is then starts the cycle all over again. You know, it's a welcome to government. Yeah, I'm sure we're all just worrying about nothing. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Right.
What's a couple eggs to make an omelet? You know?
If California is any example as far as being soft on crime and basically announcing to the fucking joint, go ahead and commit crimes, everything's going to work out great. It's going to be clean. It's going to be tidy. It's going to be an orderly place, dude.
I bet you their crime rates are going to drop real low when they stop arresting people. They'll be able to tout that all over the fucking news. Violence has gone down so much. Like, why do you think that is? Like, well, because we stopped arresting people for violent crime.
There's no
Awesome.
statistic. You're not taking reports.
Pat myself on the back for that one. I'll take the credit for that. Yeah, shit, man. We're devolving into chaos out here. But what do you think to the notion that America is the most divided country right now in the world?
Well, I mean, it's kind of hard to say because I mean, you see France. I mean, they're out there just burning the joint down and shit, and rolling guillotines down the road at random times and places. And then the other half of the population there is all blitz fucking Africans that
Right.
Gaddafi warned. Without me, France would be overran with Africans. Fuck, here we are.
Right.
You got that, and then like in the Netherlands and shit, I mean, the farmers have won to this point. They've even gained power in the government there. But you've seen what just took place there. I mean, they were covering state buildings and feces and blocking freeways and with miles of tractors. So I don't know, man. I think it's just a spread across the West. I think it's like I stated earlier with that Pew Research poll. Like I said, it was taken across 24 Western countries. Like, it's not just America. Everybody's sick of the fucking reptilian overlords, man. You know what I mean? Right. So I think it's just a keel across the West, period.
I think it might be perceived that America is the most divided nation right now, and it's probably just because of the fact that we're the nation of the most consequence. If our nation collapses, it's going to be detrimental to the rest of the world as well. So I think just because we're at the epicenter of what happens in the world. So I think that's why much more people's eyes are on America. So it's not necessarily that we're more divided than anybody else in the world. It's just that more people are paying attention to what's going on in America. Because I mean, like you said, it's going on all over the place. But do you think that people all over the world are talking about the Dutch farmers? I mean, we talk about it a little bit here, but it's ultimately not necessarily like as big a news as it would be, say, if we lived in Australia and we were talking about the United States divide and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah, we don't have news channels that are almost primarily dedicated, like in Australia, like Sky News. They talk about the United States, I think, more than they talk about Australia.
Right. For a while, I'd be willing to bet Sky News is pretty much just an Australian American political commentary.
News and shit. But You know, I feel you though. I mean, like if France fell tomorrow, I mean, it's going to be felt in the EU, but it's not going to fuck with us in the slightest bit. Obviously, we're the world trade currency. If we collapse tomorrow, some people are going to feel some long lasting pain, man. This
Yeah.
is like the epicenter of corporatocracy. You know, this is the home of the corporation, basically. Yeah, we might have subsidiaries in your country, but you know, this is where it all started. You know what I mean?
Yep. I think the what was that?
At least the modern rendition of the corporatocracy industrial, you know, complex. It's you know, World War II, obviously, it kind of fucking put us at the top, and we've remained there, you know, artificially because of the trade currency status.
So I think we're, at least in America, I think we're moving past that notion of civil war. And I think we're moving more toward the notion of a revolutionary style thing, or like a revolutionary combined with civil unrest for a good, you know, number of years. I think we're headed more toward that direction, because I think that the divide isn't so much between the Democrats and the Republicans or the left and right anymore as much as they would want it to be. I think it's honestly shifting in the way that it's supposed to be, you know, between the populace and the political class. So I think we're just going to have a lot more, you know, civil unrest as opposed to an actual civil type war with two, you know, opposing factions fighting for power of the same government. You know,
There's certain days you just want to see a Sri Lanka here, though.
right?
You know what I mean? Fuck around, dude. Fuck around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? January 6th, you got mud on the floor in the Capitol. I'm like, dude, we're fucking leaving this. You know what I mean?
Right.
Everybody came with selfie sticks that time.
Right. Yeah, it's not going to be so peaceful next time. And that's why I say a lot of this really does hinge on November. What happens in November decides the rest of the world's fate.
Remember.
I'm saying it in a funny voice, but that actually really is the situation here. You know, that actually is the situation that we have going on in, not just, like I say, not just America. This is quite literally deciding the fate of the world this November. Shit. One thing that I can say though is I mean, shit. This election actually, like I said, it means a lot. You know, down to the point where I could say that, you know, I did my part. I actually went down to the courts, had my fucking civil rights restored, just so that way I'm able to fucking vote in this election. That's how important it is. Right? As you guys, you know, probably know, I'm a convicted felon. But like I said, I went down to the courts. I fucking filed petitions. I, you know, had all that shit done. I got my rights restored, just so that way I could be able to vote in this motherfucking election. That's how much it matters.
You know, it sucks though. Is you can't be, you know, too, you know, delusional about the situation as far as like it's important. You know, obviously we need to get Trump's in there, yada yada, right? But it's at this point, it's more about the bureaucracy and the turtle. Like you said, Trump needs to come in and just fucking clean house. If anything's to be done, that's where it happens at. You know what I mean? Getting rid of that bureaucracy and you know, stacking shit that is a deeply fucking weaved web, like that's been set for him previously, and like they're trying to do now with pushing different add-ons to bills. You know, we've talked about where basically if he, you know, reneges on, you know, funding for Ukraine, he could spell impeachment. I mean,
Right.
you know, it's similar to that type of shit, but deeper as far as the placement of people. He, you know, last time Trump put up what, like 251 federal judges, I want to say. And you see the ones that are still there, the ones that Biden didn't purge, you know, once his DOJ took full control, like the ones that, you know, he basically wasn't able to touch. You see, they're the only ones that are holding any kind of sense. I mean, minus Coney Barrett on the Supreme Court, but you got to think who she replaced. You know what I mean? And as far as like Trump trying to balance the court, I think he actually did a good job. Like, I mean, especially like Scalia, he put Gorsuch, right? That's perfect, right? But in other ways, we know that he was horrible at fucking surrounding himself with the right fucking people. And that's going to be more important than actually who occupies the White House is who's doing the work around the White House. Right?
Right. And that's the actual problem. It's the swamp. It's the fucking the gigantic bureaucracy that has been built up over, decades here in the United States. And it's like I say, it's going to take an unwinding of a lot of that, to bring us back to some sort of semblance of what America was designed to be, rather than to what it's grown into.
I mean, it reverts back. I'm like, again, I don't ever expect it to be what it was intended to be, what it originally was, right? But at the same time, like I was saying, like, it goes back to that strongman thing. And if we pull this off, right, if old Trump goes in, it's a perfect scenario because they've already pointed the finger and thrown everything at him they can, and he doesn't have to worry about running again. So it's just fucking fire everybody, dude. Like before, he had so many trepidations, especially like with the FBI and whatnot. Now it's like they just drop the fucking hammer. You know what I mean?
Yep. The one thing that I worry about, though, is, I mean, if he comes back, as we saw, a lot of the stuff that he did, during his first presidency, as soon as Biden came in, he immediately reversed almost all of it. So that's the one thing that I do kind of worry about. It's just going to be kind of 4 years of us like, yeah, things are going to change, guys, woo, and then we just get the same thing that we've been getting for decades after decades after decade.
That's what I'm saying. That's why it's all dependent on the bureaucracy, right? Like you see on a smaller scale, right? Like Twitter. We know that Elon came in and dropped the hammer, fired like 70% of the staff or whatever, right? But there's still people in there that are, tinged, mentally or ideologically enough just to throw tiny wrenches in. You know what I mean? And obviously the pick for the CEO was horrible, right? That's a similar situation. Trump surrounded himself. And they fuck with him, and he's got to constantly come out and clean up, and I'll look into it and shit like that, because it's all about who the fuck you surround yourself with. And so even if you stack it with to where the next regime comes in and they undo so many things, if you weave it so deep, it'll take their whole term just trying to undo it rather than fucking shit up.
Right. Shit. That's the hope, at least.
That's the best we can hope for, as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
Like I said, I don't expect miracles. One guy's not going to save us, nothing like that. Like, I'm not a fucking idiot. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I know I was economically healthier. I know you were under Trump, regardless of the rhetoric. Even the IRS had to come out and let you know that every person in the country benefited from his tax cuts, for instance, and it actually raised more revenue. The CBO had to revise their claims. And it's all public fucking, verifiable. And, it's obvious there's only one fucking choice, man. And like I said, it's not going to be miracles. The best you can hope for is a lot of fucking, you're fired, you're fired, you're fired, you're fired.
Right. So just to clarify, though, during the Trump administration, I was paying 92 cents for a pack of ramen at the time. But that's because I was in prison for the entire Trump presidency. So, woohoo! That's why it's so important that we get him back in there. I didn't get to live through the first one, man.
Regardless of anyone's claims, dude, I see my checks, man. I know I pay more in fucking taxes, and I don't make $400,000 a year like Biden swears. You're not affected if you make fucking under 400,000. Dude, eat my fucking shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I see my checks, bro.
Yeah. Yep. If I can, let's see. You want to talk about fucking Robert Hur? You want to talk about TikTok?
Let's talk about her, man. Let's keep it on the justice system here. We'll get that all out.
The injustice system. The perversion of justice. Systematically.
Yeah.
Right. But so yeah, Robert Hur. You go ahead and pop this up. Actually, I got Robert Hur vidges pulled up over here on the old X app. So let's go ahead and check out some of these clips of testimony. Kind of shut that up real quick.
His attorney falsely represented to the FBI and grand jury that he did not have documents called.
Right. Real quick, just little intro real quick. Okay, so Robert Hur, he's basically the special counsel in the Biden classified documents case. He's basically the person that went and put forth the report, basically saying that the reason that they're not going to charge Biden is because he is, quote, an elderly man who with a bad memory that the jury most likely would not be able to would not convict. Right. So that was his entire reasoning for basically dropping all charges, I guess, for the most part, against Joe Biden. It's really just a clear perversion of justice. It's a clear double standard of justice, because a lot of it's essentially the exact same thing that they're accusing Donald Trump of doing with the classified documents that he had, of course, behind a gigantic vault door within Mar-a-Lago, as opposed to Joe Biden, who had his documents all over the place. Literally all over the place. I'm pretty sure they're going to have the video of I forget who it was, but they basically asked him, "Oh, did Joe Biden have documents here? Did he have them here? Did he have them here? Did he have them here?"
And with the Trump, not only in vault, but that vault door was actually approved by the archive, fucking department, and it was under 24-hour surveillance and 24-hour armed security. Even when Trump wasn't there, Mar-a-Lago's full of armed guards.
Right. As opposed to, fucking Joe Biden's, garage in Delaware where he keeps his Corvette and a whole bunch of crackheads. Right. There's a bit of a difference there. And not to mention the fact that Joe Biden also divulged the information within these classified documents based off of a promise of money. Right. And that's a real, headline grabbing way of putting it, but essentially he had a ghostwriter that was basically writing his biography, and he just happened to say, "Oh, look at these old documents I got here, classified documents, let me tell you about it." You put them in the book there. And so basically he divulged classified information to his ghostwriter, and he received $8 million off of that book.
Right, and even told the ghostwriter, some of this is classified for sure. Watch yourself. You could get in trouble.
Right. The clear, like I said, similar crimes, similar charges, similar accusations, but very, very, very much different circumstances. All right. So let's go ahead and check out some of this old testimony here.
You got to take it back. It's more closely associated. While it's everything that they're accused Trump of, this is almost precisely the old Hillary fucking email story, where they were smashing Blackberries with hammers and bleach-bitten hard drives and shit. And similar to this right here, where this ghostwriter, the classified information, once the shit was, the special counsel was appointed, dude put it in his recycle bin.
Fuck yeah, man. Fuck yeah. And so let's see, Robert Hur just bodied old shifty-eyed Adam Schiff.
Pencil neck.
His attorney falsely represented to the FBI and grand jury that he did not have documents called for by the grand jury's subpoena. You didn't find anything like that with respect to Mr. Biden, did you?
Congressman, I do not have the Trump indictment in front of me, but I need to address something that you said in your prior question. What you were suggesting is that I needed to provide a different version of my report that would be fit for public release. That is nowhere in the rules. I was to prepare a confidential report that was comprehensive and thorough of an
What is in the rules? His attorney falsely represented to the FBI and
All right. So what he's talking about there is old shifty-eyed Schiff over here. Basically, he started trying to grill him. Like, why did you have to use that terminology? Couldn't you just said that actually we didn't find any evidence and that Joe Biden is actually a fucking angel and anybody should be ashamed of themselves for accusing him of such stuff? You could have put that in there. Essentially, I'm paraphrasing, but that's essentially what he said, right? And he basically said that you didn't have to say that he's an old man with a bad memory. You could have said that there's no evidence against him, basically. Of course, that would completely change the circumstances with which he's dismissing this case, right? Because there is in fact a mountain of evidence against Joe Biden, like a lot.
Not to mention that Lizard doing the questioning personally altered fucking Trump's transcript with Zelensky and made it sound like he was a mobster talking, like, "You're gonna do me a favor, Sam." You know what I mean? I don't know if you remember that footage, but hilarious stuff. That this is the Lizard that has the nuts to stand up here and ask these fucking questions.
All right, let's see. That's another one. Breaking explosive. Former special counsel Robert Hur says point blank his report did not exonerate President Biden. Right, like I said, there's a mountain of evidence against this motherfucker, and like I said, Adam Schiff trying to basically say, like, "Oh, you could have just said that there was no evidence." Like, no, there's a mountain of fucking evidence. The dude's just a fucking retard, and so technically, we can't fucking. No jury would actually convict somebody that fucking mentally deficient.
So this lengthy, expensive, and independent investigation resulted in a complete exoneration of President Joe Biden. For every document you discussed in your report, you found insufficient evidence that the president violated any laws about possession or retention of classified materials. The primary law that you analyzed for potential prosecution was part of the Espionage Act, 18 U.S.C. 793E, which criminalizes willful retention or disclosure of national defense information. Is that correct?
Congresswoman, that is one statute that we analyzed. I need to go back and make sure that I take note of the word that you used, exoneration. That is not a word that
I'm
appears
going
in
to
the report,
continue
and
with
that's
my
not part of my
questions.
task as a
I'm going to continue
prosecutor.
with my
The
questions. I
judgment
know
that
that the
received,
term,
I ultimately reached
I know
related to
that the
whether
term,
sufficient evidence existed such that the likely
you didn't,
outcome
you
would be
exonerated
a
him.
conviction.
I know
I
that
did
the
not
term
exonerate him. That
willful
word does not appear in the
retention has a,
report, Congresswoman.
Mr. Hur, it's my time. Thank you. So this length.
Fucking ridiculous, dude. She tries to cut him off because she knows that he's trying to say you can't use that word. That is not the actual findings that I found in my report, right? You cannot say that I completely exonerated him because that's not even true. Again, he was not fucking exonerated. There's not a lack of evidence. There's a fuck ton of evidence. The dude is a fucking retard, and that's why they're not convicting him. Right? He's mentally unfit to stand trial, but still mentally fit enough to run for a re-election and stuff. And he's still mentally fit enough to actually, the same day that the report came out saying that he was mentally unfit, still go out there and say, no, man, I'm totally mentally fit, sharp as a tack. I know everything that I did, everything, 100%. Yeah. Like, essentially basically saying like, oh no, I'm totally fit to stand trial. So this really does create a double standard, right? It's either you're unfit to stand trial and therefore unfit to run the world, or you're fit to run for presidency and therefore you're a fucking criminal and we need to now put you on trial. Like it's one way or the other. But of course, he runs the fucking government. So, and his entire party is the most corrupt fucking people in probably the history of fucking governments. I mean, they're pretty much the Nazi party. And so of course they're going to let that double standard go ahead and slide. And as we see, she's basically trying to make it seem like, she's trying to rewrite history and basically make it seem like, oh, he was completely exonerated, right?
Dude, I think it's the system protecting the system. Like, again, you bring it back to Hillary with what the hell was his name? The head of the FBI at the time comes out on national television and says like, yeah, she's guilty. There's evidence of, leaking classified information, storing it, destroying it, yada, yada. But, we're not going to charge her because we can't prove intent, right? I mean, it's just giving him an easy out is basically what it is. It's saying he's guilty, but we're not going to prosecute him. And that's the easy out is, oh, well, he's fucking retarded. But, the dude is plenty enough fucking conscious to sit in a courtroom to hear like, you're guilty. You're going to spend the rest of your old ass life fucking, prison. You're going to die in a cell right now. But again, it's the system protecting the system, and it just like it did for Hillary, and they're currently doing for the whole Biden fucking administration. Ed, you know what I'm saying? And yes, I meant Biden because this is tied into Obama. All this shit Obama knew about. We've heard it across the inner zones, not only with the links and whatnot, but the fact that Biden had no power. He wasn't in charge, man. And so when he was, trying to, quid pro quo for real, we're not giving you the $1 billion. Who do you think signed off on that? Biden didn't have the power, man. Just like you said, you're not the president. He said, we'll call him. Right, because he done did. You know what I'm saying? They already had that worked out.
It's funny too because when you say the Biden or the Biden or fucking Biden or fucking Joe Obama and shit, people are especially when Trump does that card. They're going to try and like, oh, see, he doesn't remember who's president. He thinks it's Obama. Like, no, Obama lives like a fucking block away. And he's literally pulling the fucking strings of this fucking old liver spotted fucking mentally unfit person. Yeah, it's
That's really
Obama.
getting fact checked on fucking the Jesus tubes.
Right. Oh, well, wouldn't be the first time.
Based on the fact.
Let's see this one. Rep Kevin Kiley says so. A responsible juror could have voted to convict based on the facts. Robert Hur replies, correct.
Facts and anticipation of defenses presented in your report, could a reasonable juror have voted to convict?
As I said in the report, some reasonable jurors may have reached the inferences that the government would present in its case in chief.
So a reasonable juror could have voted to convict based on the facts that you presented.
Correct. If you report.
Yep.
Turned down for butt. Yep. That's literally saying like, yeah, anyone with a fucking cognitive fucking intact process would definitely find this piece of shit guilty. But like I said, we're not going to do a fucking thing, son.
Yeah. Yep. Definitely not. It's a clear, like I said, clear double standard of justice we got here. Like I said, if you ain't black pilled yet, oh, just wait. But let's see, we got old Nadlers here. Let's see. Do you have any reason to believe that the President Biden lied to you? His answer is yes.
Right now.
Yeah. Don't know what's happening here. Okay, there we go.
At any point in your investigation, did you have any reason to believe that President Biden lied to you?
I do address in my report one response the president gave to a question that we had posed to him that we deemed to be not credible.
Corvette, go Burr. Right, supposedly that's another thing that he also said. I think this is the one. Let's see. Having been a federal prosecutor, let's see. Yeah, no, this is actually a post from Adam Schiff. Having been a federal prosecutor, I know you don't disparage a witness while declining to prosecute them. Now, not if you're a professional instead of a partisan. And yet, that's exactly what Robert Hur did. He made a choice, and it was a terrible one. I think this is actually the one where he's trying to say that, you could have worded it different.
You were supposed to be completely controlled opposition.
Right.
And you also understand that you are to take care not to prejudice the interests of the subject of an investigation, right?
That is generally one of the
all that. Well, he's got literally the pictures of the fucking is that the one at Trump's? Is that it looks like Mar-a-Lago, huh?
I guess, but even
I'm not sure.
It's like you're not even showing like the entry to the room. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's like a zoom in, like, see, here's some boxes. You know what I'm saying? Like, big fucking deal, dude. I can't stand this guy, bro. Like I try not to use like a literal hate like lightly, but dude, I absolutely hate this fucking reptile right here, man. And yeah. Like that guy, if there was ever someone that needed one to the motherfucking forehead, dude, he's sitting right on.
That's right. Yeah.
Take care not to prejudice the interests of the subject of an investigation, right?
That is generally one of the interests that DOJ policy requires that prosecutors respect.
And it was your obligation to follow that policy in this report, was it not?
It was also my obligation to write a confidential report for the Attorney General explaining completely my
What
decision.
you did write was deeply prejudicial to the interests of the president. You say it wasn't political, and yet you must have understood. You must have understood the impact of your words. You must have understood the impact of your decision to go beyond the specifics of a particular document, to go to the very general, to your own personal, prejudicial, subjective opinion of the president, one you knew would be amplified by his political opponent, one you knew that would influence a political campaign. You had to understand that. And you did it anyway.
What a coincidence.
And let me just go.
Let me say one thing. January 6th committee.
Right.
Let's leave it that there.
Just look,
So
dude.
let me just go to some.
Drunk ass, high blood pressure having ass motherfucker.
Right? Look at those. Those are the eyes of crazy right there.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy
That's
eyes.
portrait of a fucking stressed out drunk.
All right.
The differences here between the president's conduct and Mr. Trump's. In the superseding indictment, on page 3.
All right. This is what the majority of what Democrats did during this entire fucking testimony. They literally spent the entire time, well, but Trump did this, but Trump did this, but Trump did this. Robert Hur is not the special counsel going after Trump. And matter of fact, the special counsel going after Trump, shit, motherfucker's not even qualified to be special counsel anyway, right? But yeah, the Democrats spent the entire time just talking about like, oh, well, let's compare it to Donald Trump's, right? And of course, if you actually compare the actual details of each case, clearly one of them is a political witch hunt, and the other one, I like I say, I'm pretty sure it's probably presidential norms, but at the same time, when Joe Biden did this, he was not the president. He did not have the power to declassify such information. He was a vice president. There's a clear difference there.
Not
But,
to some of it way back from when he was a fucking senator. So this dude's been stealing fucking government secrets for 50 fucking years, man.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, the fact that they're sitting there trying to compare the two, it's actually ridiculous. But it's quite literally the only fucking thing they got. Let's see. Donald Trump said, "Big day in Congress for the Biden documents. So we had many times more documents, including classified documents, than I or any other president had. He had them all over the place with zero supervision or security. He does not come under the Presidential Records Act. I do. He had many docks in Chinatown, and they were moved all over the place and heavily used. My boxes were moved by GSA, were secure, most carried clothing, shoes, sporting equipment, kitchen stuff, newspaper pictures, magazines, awards, etc. The DOJ gave Biden gave Biden and virtually every other person and president a free pass. Me, I'm still fighting. MAGA."
Indicted.
All right. Yep. I said it's almost an insulting clear standard of justice, and it's quite literally like them, pissing on your face and telling you that it's raining. Yeah, it's I mean quite literally like that. It's I don't know, clown world.
That's modus operandi of the left. They always piss on their constituents and tell them how it's raining and they're trying to save the environment. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, and again, it's exactly the fucking Hillary Clinton shit with Comey, and they did the same shit then. They had hearings where the Democrats made it a fucking clown show and fucking, sucked on Hillary's clitoris, and the right was trying to, use proper decorums. You know what I'm saying? And the only one that got fiery really is Rand, and just say fiery and Rand. That's two things.
Right.
That really he's not a real fiery kind of guy, even when he's trying to be. So that tells you, and this is resplendent, dude, of what we consider to be our side is the vast majority of them are fucking weak bitches, dude. And just like this guy is supposed to be the opposition, he was supposed to be a Republican put in to do this, to show nonpartisanship, but yet he's sticking to the same fucking routine of, well, it's the Democrats, we're not going to prosecute.
Right. Yeah, and a lot of the the fucking spinelessness on the right is again something that does concern me. We are seeing an influx in the MAGA Republicans right now. We are seeing a bit of a like I said, an influx in like what's considering to basically be the Republican Party. The old Republican Party is dying out and it's being replaced with the new MAGA Party. Unfortunately, like I said, the only reason that it's we're seeing so much of the MAGA candidates because again, those are the only ones making actual waves. But ultimately, the MAGA candidates, they really actually make up about fucking 10% of the actual politicians. It's just the fact that they're the most vocal. They're the ones that are most out there doing the most and shit. So they get the most coverage. But ultimately, I mean, MAGA really still is a bit of a small subset within the Republican Party. It's just the fact that they have the loudest voice and they have the best ideas, and they're the only people that actually have any sort of principle to actually fight for the American people.
Yeah, and you see the trend growing, like you said. You got a lot more people that plan on running, have announced they're going to run for seats around the country as representatives, not just local, but Senate, Congress, yada yada. The thing is can we retain a house and gain another, or at minimum flip flop, right? With now you got a total different leadership at the RNC, saying that they're not only going to use ballot harvesting and whatnot, but they're currently with Jack Posobiec, right? And they're saying that they're going to use Democrat tactics, and they're going to start signing up voters at UFCs, at different venues and whatnot, conventions, so on and so forth. So they're trying to step up their game. Something that the right's been lacking for years, and she said she's going to put money into fucking MAGA, and of course you keep hearing it's Laura Trump, but she's supposed to be the co-chair, but of course she's the one with the name recognition, so she's the one out here laying that shit down.
Yep, yeah. Like I say, it's you really love to see it. I mean, there really is a change in the leadership taking place in the Republican Party. Of course, old Cocaine Mitch has decided that he's going to step down too. So it really is the changing of an era, even within the Republican Party. And so it's a good thing just right now at the time being. For one, they're definitely the most hated politicians in Washington right now, and for two, I mean, for two, like I say, it's at this point still small, and a lot of the people that are outweigh the MAGA Republicans, those are the people that are just going to do what they're told. They're going to do what their donors tell them to do, and basically they are going to not fight for the American people. They're going to fight for their way of life and for the system that basically advantages them over the rest of the people.
Yeah, man, and like you said, you love to see it. You don't want to get too hyped because we've seen the whole red wave, right?
Right.
You still get the fuck out there. You got to make sure your vote counts, man. Check on that shit. There's no Superman. No one's gonna save us. This is a team effort, dude. And dude, it's really about fucking contributions at this point. The RNC lagging far behind the DNC as far as that's concerned. The RNC, especially the Trump candidacy, they're pretty efficient with the way they use their funds. They get the best, the most for their dollars. But the DNC far outspending but losing, pretty often. As far as these primaries are concerned, fuck, dude, don't be afraid to purchase some shit. Like everybody will donate to their politician of choice or what have you at some point, right? But at least when you go MAGA, you get fucking quality swag. You know what I mean? Instead of a fucking bumper sticker.
Right.
Turn out.
Get you one of these cards right here.
Yeah, but you're seeing the system's dying gasp stabs, like Ken Buck, and he says he's got 3 other colleagues that are going to do the same. And basically, these guys have already announced they're not going to run for re-election. Now they're trying to vacate their seats and give the Democrats control before the election. So all the investigations against the Bidens can fucking be hashed out real quick, and Speaker Jeffries can come in to try to not certify your fucking voice. The people that scream democracy the loudest do the most to subvert it and destroy it. You know what I mean? And when you see Jeffries out here moving his hands like he's some intense pastor and shit, just know that you're being fucking bamboozled anytime people use those hand movements while speaking to you. And that's the last thing we fucking need. And then, of course, we already covered how they're trying to ice Boebert out of her position.
I was actually going to say, can you give us a quick rundown on what's going on with the Boebert thing?
Well, obviously, Ken Buck again announced that he's not running for re-election. Then just recently, the other day, he announced that he's going to vacate his seat basically here pretty quickly before the elections even happen. Boebert announced she's going to run for his seat, so she'd be moving to a different district. But they purposely now, which was a theory beforehand, that they were going to try to fuck with the election timing. And that's exactly what happened. With his announcement of vacating, the governor gets to, appoint someone to the position temporarily. And they announced they're going to have the runoff election on the same day as the election for its current seat. So basically, she'd have to vacate to run for the other. And, they're setting her up because then they're going to have an incumbent run over here and then have some new voice come in over here that's, preaching the fucking gospel to a heavily fucking blue state.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely fucking blue as can be, man. So basically, they're trying to make it to where instead of her doing a challenge within her own party for the seat, they're basically going to appoint a Democrat in there. So that way, obviously, the incumbent is usually the one that has the advantage over the other person. And again, in Colorado, it doesn't matter who the fuck it is. A Democrat has the advantage over Republicans anyway, because it's fucking blue ass Colorado.
Yeah, and of course she's part of a lawsuit against the Secretary of State there that tried to remove Trump from the ballot. And so they're gunning for her. Obviously, mostly Democrat state reps there, and a government judicial system, and also a Democrat governor. So she's good possibility she may be gone come this fall. No more Boebert.
Right. I hate to see it, man. Hopefully she'll start a podcast or something.
Right, with them tats.
Right, with them tats.
Right. Everyone's pissed off she's touching in the theater. I was pissed I didn't get to see no tatty.
Right. Bullshit.
Right.
But I guess one other thing that we can point out too, it has been confirmed. The candidates for the 2024 election is in fact going to be Donald Trump versus Joe Biden. Again, I will still maintain I don't think Joe Biden's going to actually run. I think that they're going. I still think they're going to try and switch him out in the ninth hour. My main reasoning for that is because Joe Biden physically cannot fucking last another 4 years. And maybe with adrenochrome and all this and that type of shit, he could be bedridden, for another 4 years. But I don't think that he could even maintain. Yeah, I guess if you want to call it the vigor that he has now, let alone be able to run a country even any farther. At the same time, the Democrats fucking hate him. Like they do not like the fucking dude. The dude cannot win. Cannot win at this point. Based on polling and stuff like that. Again, you don't want to rely too heavily on polling, but based on polling, Donald Trump is winning just about every single swing state when he faces up against Joe Biden. Right? The Democrats know that they don't have a chance unless they get rid of Joe Biden. So that's why I still maintain that they're going to try and do something to get Biden out before the election takes place.
I think they're just going to fuck him with him, and it's not just happening here. I don't know if you've seen now Scotland just came out. The government of Scotland, where one of Trump's largest golf courses is, come out saying, well, we think Trump overestimated the value of his golf course here too. You know what I'm saying? So, it's not going to stop. I think they're just going to continue to try to overwhelm him, lawsuit after lawsuit, payout after payout. I think that's still the plan, just to try to give the man a fucking coronary and break his family. You know what I'm saying? I think it's too late to switch Biden's out. I think that even like how you hear a lot of talk about Gavin Newsom actually polls horrible. He actually polls. Trump would beat him too, as far as polls are concerned. And again, you take those with a grain. But just like I'm sure you tend to try to look at aggregated polls rather than individuals. And it has him up, man. It has him up beating all of these people. You know what I'm saying? And this guy's a fucking lizard. And at this point, you're seeing across the inner zones with people posting videos like, I live in LA. You have to lock your doors when you get gas or you'll get fucking robbed. Like, all these videos are coming out across TikTok and, the Twitter sphere and whatnot. And people know this guy's destroyed, the golden paradise of Mercas, man, in just a few short years.
Yeah.
So if you think you're struggling or it's bad under Biden, fuck, put that guy in charge, man. There's going to be fucking homeless fucking encampments in your front yard.
Right. shit maps for the entire country. Everybody gets a shit map. You get a shit map. Fucking Texas, you getting a shit map. Fucking Colorado, you're getting a shit map. Fucking Michigan getting a shit map. Everyone's getting shit maps, right? Yep. Fucking yeah. Gavin Newsom doesn't have a fucking chance, man. I mean, you say that, but at the same time, I mean,
Who else are they gonna run? You know what I mean? Like they really have nobody else besides fucking old Dracul, dude.
right?
And like, I mean, if anyone's paying half attention, you see that guy has fucking destroyed California.
Yep. I guess the concern is fucking. They know that they can't win. They don't have a viable candidate that could actually beat Trump. But at the same time, the other thing that they are certain of is that they will not let Trump go back in the White House. So I mean, there's, like I say, this shit next year is going to be some pretty crazy shit. You know, like I say, I still predict that they're going to try and take Trump out. I still don't think that it would end up working, and I think that they would try and basically say that, oh, you know, it was all a hoax. He's just trying to fucking get, you know, rile his base and stuff like that, you know. But I think they're gonna try and you know, do something drastic to stop Trump, especially, like I said, the writing's on the wall at this point. They know it, and we know it. It's all just a matter of how are they going to make sure that Donald Trump does not, by any means necessary, make it back into that motherfucking Oval Office.
And I agree. Like I said, they're going to try we're not going to certify all that jazz. Like, I mean, we have the video. They tried it previously, you know, in 2016. They tried to, you know, let's not certify. And talking about, you know, alternate electors, which obviously they're trying to charge Trump with crimes over. But I think they're going to stay the course, and you know, they're going to try to pull out all the stops on the way, but they're going to continue the course. And if you know he wins, they're going to try the tactics, and if it doesn't work, I think they've already resigned themselves to let's just fucking stifle him, crush him, fucking try to impeach him again, and shoot for 2028 when the dude's out of the picture, man.
Right? It's just going to be all. It's going to be a whole smear campaign for 4 fucking years. You know.
Another 4 years,
right?
Non fucking, because they're rolling out the Russian collusion shit again already. You know what I mean? All that shit without any proof at all. They're already Russia's interfering in the fucking elections. Like the election hasn't even taken place. What the fuck are you talking about, man? You know what I mean?
He's the Putin stooge.
Okay, well, let's do hand counted paper ballots. No, that's fucking racisms.
Right. Shit. Yeah, let's check out this one or two of these more videos of the Robert Hur testimony. Like I said, it really didn't necessarily do anything other than show people the clear double standard of justice between Joe Biden and Donald Trump for what, like I said, within the eyes of the media essentially equates to the same crime, but ultimately within the people that actually look down to the brass facts and shit like that, they're clearly one person had the ability to declassify such things and the other person didn't. It's that fucking simple, you know.
But what's fucked though is you know, even though it brought this shit, you know, to the public forefront, the people that, you know, are left, you can see like your social media numbers, for instance. You see people that will subscribe because of a certain video clip or a reply, and then they see what type your account is and they immediately unsubscribe and shit. You know what I'm saying? And they themselves in a bubble, and then when they let themselves hear conflicting information, they're going to hear some talking head telling them, no, that's not really what he meant by saying that, and they're going to go, yeah, see. You know what I mean? They want to.
See, it also sucks too that they, you know, they have a search engine, man. We have to stay vigilant and actually, you know, read this stuff on a daily basis and actually, you know, remember, you know, articles and shit like that. Then if they just want to, you know, prove a point, they got the fucking left-wing propagandist gigantic search machine, you know. If they just wanted to refute anything that you have to say, they literally just have to type in whatever it is, and then Google will give them a news article with propaganda out the ass to basically try and refute the claim. Us, we actually have to remember and fucking dig into archives and shit like that to actually show them their fucking bullshit, you know?
Yeah, we need a fucking a right leaning or a libertarian based fucking search engine, man. And
right.
You know, you hear people use different ones, and I've tried most of them, and they either fucking suck or they've gone the way of Google with censorship and a favoritism as far as results are concerned. Like
Right.
we need one that's just about trying to give you fucking statistics, information. I mean, there's Statista, but it's pretty random. Like you got to search through it as well. So
Yeah. Yep. And I don't know, you like to think that like, oh, well, they could just go for the most they're just going for the most popular articles and stuff like that. And then in which case, well, Google is promoting those articles. And so therefore, if they're just going off of the most popular articles or the most view counts and stuff for such articles, then they're probably going to promote those same ones anyway,
or they'll share snops with you. Like that's always hilarious. They throw some fucking left-wing fact checker at you, like, dude, that's some guy in the fucking basement, or that's some group that's already admitted in a French court that they're opinion checkers, that they have nothing to do with facts. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like I had a fact check the other day. I posted that video of Biden talking about the endless stream across the border and asylum seekers and whatnot, and they put a fact check on me like, there's no proof that Biden would fucking set off a stream of immigration through the border. Like, what do you mean he already has? What
Right.
the man?
Well, it's actually because Republicans refuse to fund the border. That's why. It fucking the propaganda, like it really does kind of make my head hurt sometimes. It's like, fuck, dude. Like I can't even like it's hard to just fucking like, no, actually this is what happened. Well, actually, no, this is what actually happened. Oh, actually, this is what actually happened. It's gets daunting.
Yeah, and it's fucked because you post shit that's obvious. You could use your eyes, and like again, like like my Instagram, for instance, I just got the dreaded, "You're in danger of losing fucking monetization." You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
not that they've paid me thus far. Like I said, I got a video right now. It's about to hit 1 million views, and they're like, "We can't pay you for that. It goes against community standards." Why is it still up?
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's not advertised as friendly.
Right.
Right. But let's go ahead and check out this video real quick, and then we'll go ahead and move on to TikTok.
My team and I conducted a thorough, independent investigation. We identified evidence that the president willfully retained classified materials after the end of his vice presidency when he was a private citizen. This evidence included an audio recorded conversation during which Mr. Biden told his ghostwriter that he had, quote, just found all the classified stuff downstairs, end quote. When Mr. Biden said this, he was a private citizen speaking to his ghostwriter in his private rental home in Virginia. My team and I...
All right. Sums it all up right there.
Yeah, he's sharing fucking classified information fucking openly.
For a promise of money.
Mm-hmm. Money.
Yep. But yeah, man, fucking you're like I said, it's hard to not get blackpilled, especially with everything going on in the world today, man. But especially with our own government.
But at the same time, you get those little white pills. You see people rising up. You see people waking up. I've heard some people recently, speaking in personal conversations or what have you, and using, coming out with information that I never thought I'd hear come out of their mouths and shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or agreeing with shit that I'm saying that previously they were like, oh hell no, it's fascism. Now they're like,
Right.
oh, you're pretty right, man. Like, yeah, I know, man. My mom says I'm actually pretty good at this, man.
It's kind of funny sometimes, like when you meet another like fucking MAGA person that's not like just fucking with the MAGA hat and all that stuff, But when you meet another MAGA person, it reminds me of like back in the day when you used to meet another stoner and shit, like oh shit, like you smoke, man? Yeah. Oh shit, dude, you smoke too? Oh shit, you smoke? Shit, what's up, bro? God damn, man, could have been smoking this whole fucking time, dude. Like, how come you didn't say nothing, man? Like, it's the same thing. Like, fucking, it's like, man, these immigrants, they're getting out of control. Like, dude, I know. Did you hear about that fucking thing? Or yada yada. Fucking like, wait, you've heard about that too? Like, oh, well, actually, dude, it's the same fucking process. It's like, wait a minute, like, you vote for Trump? You vote for Trump? Oh, dude, man, what's up, bro?
Especially when you're at work, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, we obviously we deal with the public a lot, man, and you're out at these people's places, and you're doing your thing, and then you realize like they're on a similar political spectrum, and that's real cool. You know what I mean? You're talking to the customer while you're working and shit, and it's it jives. Like I said, in some hilarity again. I had this older customer. She had to be 80 years old or something, man. And she's all about, I think there's going to be a civil war, and I want to fight in it. You know what I mean? And she had like a big,
Yeah,
huge framed fucking picture of Trump on the wall and shit. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
gave me the old Trump 20 on the wall back here. It's good shit, man.
Yeah. I actually have a customer. I'm pretty sure you've probably been with me to her house before. So it's a like old German lady. I think she has got a real heavy accent. But yeah, it turns out fucking dude, she's got like a Trump shrine in her house, bro. like straight up like framed picture, all that shit around it, like like all kinds of shit around it. Like, yeah, dude, would not have expected it, like would not have expected it at all. And then I already showed you, but a customer of mine today, actually, I don't know if you guys could really see it at all, but
see it right there,
yeah, went ahead and gave me one of those decals today. Fuck off, we're full. It's pretty awesome, man. As like I said, it's nice, running into other people. It really does kind of give you hope, lets you know you're not alone.
But people got to stick to the guns, dude. Like I said again, you got to get out there. You can't take it for granted. Like, shit's rolling, dude. We got a tide. The fucking red waves is. Let's not have a fucking replay of the midterms, man.
Red wave shit. Red wave is not in our vocabulary anymore. We don't talk about that.
And go to your county fucking site, and there's ways on there that will show you that your vote was counted, who you voted for. You know what I mean? To make sure that your shit was real. And This isn't conspiracies everywhere. Even I sent Blurry here an article recently where even in California, people are claiming that their ballots were changed, that or they received their mail-in ballots and they were registered as Democrats after being Republicans for like their whole lives and shit. So watch that stuff, man. Look out for yourself.
Yeah, actually, I'm pulling it up right here. If you're actually in Pima County, and you would like to know whether or not your vote got counted, the site is recorder.pima.gov/ballot info. All right, recorder.pima.gov/ballot info. That's if you're within Pima County, which happens to be where we're at. So, yeah, if you'd like to know, that is the website.
Yep, and comes right up. I checked it myself, in the previous the election, and comes right up, man. Shows you everything. Fucking use it, and talk to your family. I know we've made it taboo to speak of anything of fucking substance, but even if they fight you on things, you could get some ideas in there, share some information, send them some links, fucking, you know what I'm saying? And not necessarily a bombardment. Don't troll your fucking mama, but listen to this video, check this little bit of information out, read this article,
Right. Subscribe to the Liberty Bowl, simple stuff,
Right.
But
we're extreme stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like we believe in self-accountability, responsibility, and of course liberty. So that's fucking extremesy nowadays, man.
Right. Pretty much the fucking Third Reich reincarnated.
If anyone was around during the Ron Paul movement, they tried to do the same thing in 2012. Now how they have the MAGA extremesy on the FBI list, then it was one of the telltale signs of the possibility of a domestic terrorist was a Ron Paul sticker or yard sign. You know what I mean? They just couldn't come right out with him because he's a tiny little old man that just gave history lessons. So,
Right.
You know what I mean? They couldn't go full blown like they've done with Trumpsicles. Yep, there he is. Motherfucking doctor.
But all right, you ready to get into ticky tacky? Right. So it seems to be the talk of the week within the Republican Party right now, really within government at all, all around. It's a bipartisan, I guess, bill. So the TikTok ban, right? So it's not necessarily a ban, right? It's a forced divergence, right? So basically forcing China to sell off their assets, or their forcing ByteDance, right, to to sell off their shit.
You're
Basically,
fighting the mother company, yeah, and they basically want them to divest themselves from the Chinese government, who has the golden vote, the seat on the board. That golden vote basically has the power to veto all the rest of the board. So they're pretty powerful in the organization. Obviously, CCP owned, and go ahead. I'll wait and give my 2 cents when you're ready. Bro.
oh no, go for it, man. If I can break it down.
Obviously, the bill. I mean, it seems clear cut, right? They try to focus just bite dance. 4 foreign countries involved, but there is some riders in there, like being able to basically decide on naming a company or a platform. You could just basically say, well, we think they're associated with one of these countries or what have you. So it has the ability to be abused, right? But
Right.
at the same time, you don't want you want China to buy your information in bulk, but it really doesn't mean nothing from Zuckerberg, right? Because that's the minimum you can hope for at this point. But but at the same time, why the fuck are they banning them from owning a piece of TikTok, but they're not banning them from owning fucking American companies or farmland, or you know what I'm saying?
Or the
Plots,
machines that count our fucking ballots.
yeah, or plots of land that are next to nuclear installments. You can just keep going. This is a fucking it's sham bullshit. And while I surely don't buy into the inner zones, even the Tuckers and Massies, that this is opening the door to ban X and shit. It's not. It really isn't. Again, this is associated with 4 countries, and the United States isn't one of them. We're not going to ban our own companies. You know what I mean? But at the same time, you have trepidations of giving the government any more power than they currently hold, and anything that is used against one will eventually be used against you. I mean, that seems to be modus operandi in fucking Western politics. And fuck, I don't know, man. It's hard because the liberty side, you want to just be like, fuck, do what you want. You know what I
Right.
mean? But at the same time, we know the subversive content that's put on there. And of course, algorithms do their job. So yeah, exactly. If you want to see it yourself, you probably have to do a little bit of searching. If you've ever used the platform, the algorithm's already adjusted. But it's there. I mean, that's where Dylan Mulvaney came from.
Right.
What was the other, that Jeffree Star or some shit that's telling kids like, I'm your dad now. You don't need
Right.
your family. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, obviously, you don't want that shit being played to your kids. Nobody can police what their kids are intaking 24 hours a day. The best you could do is your own little mini fascist state, like a fucking Matt Walsh. And my kids aren't allowed to have electronics.
Right.
You know?
My kids don't even know what the internet is.
Right. We live in a technologically advanced age where fucking, there's a good possibility their fucking economic upward mobility is going to depend on the fucking ability to use technology. But fuck that.
Right. I'll let them read books about the internet before they get to actually use it. Yep. But so I mean the argument from, because like I said, it's coming from all different directions and stuff like that. And the argument on of course the Rand Paul, the Ron Paul, the basically the libertarian side is basically that it's literally the government interfering in people's stakes in companies and stuff like that. Of course, there's been a questions as to where Rand Paul's I guess obligations lie based off of his donors. What was his name? Jeffrey Yass.
Yeah.
Yeah. So right. So basically, this Jeffrey Yass guy has been donating to Rand Paul for quite some time now, and quite a substantial amount of money in campaign contributions. He's also a major.
There's some.
Yeah. He's also a major investor in TikTok, right? So that's again, I honestly think, I think that's probably just some sort of a connection within the campaign sphere, and I honestly doubt that Rand Paul is chilling out basically for this individual donor when it's not necessarily his MO. And at the same time, this really does go off of, libertarian principles, I guess, which is basically free market. That you don't want the government to be able to have a, actual control over who gets to participate in the market. You don't want the government to be able to blacklist different types of, you really don't want the government to be able to do much of anything other than make sure that we remain sovereign and that we're safe from the rest of the fucking outside world, I guess. All right. But yeah, so I guess it's that's the argument from that side. Of course, the argument from the Tim Pools and the other people of the like and stuff like that is basically that it's digital fentanyl, which of course is correct. It really is. It's destroying our youth and stuff like that. But as you mentioned, it's not like the United States government wants to necessarily stop that. It's really just they want fucking control. Other theories are basically like, oh, it's Jews, it's designs, it's the basically TikTok is currently promoting a lot of the Stand with Palestine propaganda. Of course, the United States government can't have that going on because of course that's their military fucking partners and stuff like that. That's what we do.
I mean, because you got China speaking out on Israel, but yet they've committed genocide on the fucking Uyghur Muslims, and we all remember fucking, the Tahrir Square, and obvious, throughout history, China's been abusers of their own people, but they're going to speak on fucking Israel, and not that I support fucking the Israel or Palestine, fuck them all, but
So in that vein, I don't think China gives a shit about fucking Israel or fucking Palestine either. I think all they give a shit about is destroying the minds of Americans, basically sowing just basically destroying the West. That's their sole focus in promoting free Palestine propaganda and shit like that. But
purely for economic and fucking military fucking superiority.
Right. The funny thing is too, man. They basically put all of this power, within the hands and decision making of the president. Right. The funny thing is, our current president is fucking more than 20% owned by China. So I mean, there's that. Are they going to be forced to get divest in fucking Joe Biden's himself, in the big guy himself? I mean, shit, our own fucking, the person that we put in charge of that is basically also bought and sold by fucking China. Oh, Beijing didn't.
And I'm okay with divesting America from China, but you got to do it wholesale. You know what I mean? You can't fucking, you get TikToks. You got to sell what the fuck? Like, regardless of the fucking subversive trash that's on there, it's completely fucking insignificant in the fucking scheme of things. And there's much more important things, like, again, farmland. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that, they've bought up like millions of acres at this point. And then of course companies, and the fact that we rely on fucking cheap trash from that place. You know what I mean? If we divested ourselves from China, fucking Walmart would shut down tomorrow.
Right. 99 cents to no more.
Yeah. And, of course, China, I mean, for everyone that doesn't know out there, people try to associate, MAGA or right wingers with fucking Walmart. Walmart is a Chinese owned company at this point. It's no longer the Wall family. Like, they're on the board, but it's, the largest shareholders from China.
China. Mm-hmm. So of course the other part that is kind of worrying about the bill is like you said, the open-ended parts where basically it's as we know, the government is easily able to somehow financially connect anybody they want to either Russia, China, Iran, or what was the other one?
Fucking ISIS, Al Qaeda's, fucking, everything, man. Fucking doesn't matter. You could be a journalist at this point.
But I mean, the four countries that were named in the bill. Yeah, the government could find any way that they want to to somehow connect you to those countries, as we already talked about, and we have been talking about for a couple of years. Donald Trump with fucking Russia. They still fucking going with he's a Putin stooge. He's bought and paid for by Russia. Like they are still going with that, even though it has been proven definitively false. They're still going with that same narrative. So I mean, when you think of what sort of powers to divest in the government, you don't think of what good they can do with it, because that is not their intention. You should always think of how are they going to inevitably abuse this power. That's what's going to happen, right? So that's basically what we're trying to examine here, is the open-ended parts that they left, which basically, like I said, it does target TikTok specifically in this specific bill, but it also basically says that anything that would basically kind of replace it, anything similarly owned by those any similar type of social media type platform that's owned by one of those 4 countries, basically same thing. So like I said, I'm just waiting to figure out how the fuck they're going to abuse it. You already know that they're going to use it against fucking their own basically political opponents or people that are public dissidents, I guess. I'm pretty sure that
it's going to send into individual use.
Wait, it's going to what?
Like to send into against individuals rather than platforms or entities, companies. It's going to be, like right now, you cruise around the inner zones. If you go on fucking Twitter right now and post some shit, depending on what page you post it on, you're going to be called, okay, Russian bot, okay, comrade, okay, you know what I mean? And
right.
it's with the left, I mean, as far as that's concerned, they control the censorship apparatus, and that's where I believe it'll lead to. It'll be individuals. That person's associated with Russia. You know what I'm saying? He's got to be fucking de-inner zoned immediately.
Yep. As we already see, the government's starting to go after its political opponents domestically, which is us, which is basically the people that, still believe in the idea of freedom and stuff like that. The people that would like to limit the power of government. Those are the people that are going to be going after. Thinking that the one thing that people are trying to put out there is like, oh, they're going to try and go after Elon Musk and stuff too. But so right now, Twitter, being a private company, I don't think they even have a way to actually kind of force a link to between Elon Musk and one of these 4 countries. So I think that's still safe for now until, of course, it possibly goes public one day. But basically, any sort of publicly run social media company now, it's all fair game now. Basically, you don't play ball with the intelligence community. The intelligence community now has a baked in fucking tool to go after you.
The only one that's safe is Mark Zuckerberg.
Right. Well, again, that's because he plays ball. He's a good little boy. He does what he's told.
He's a CIA fucking fan, man.
He's actually a robot. So I mean, I remember when I was human.
Skin slip, and you see those fucking sparring videos. You see the skin wrinkle up on his back.
Yep. So, like I say, obviously bringing a bit of a divide in the conservative side right now, is it basically really is showing the difference between the liberty-minded people and basically the people that are still looking for some false sense of safety, right? It's funny too, because I've been watching mainly Tim Pool's opining over the TikTok ban, and it's mainly just because he's all for it. He's all for it. It's really kind of funny too, because you see Tim constantly like fucking cautious, like, oh no, like I don't know about this one, I don't know about this law and stuff like that, But then for some reason, when it comes to fucking forcing foreign nations to divest their holdings within American companies and stuff like that, I'm probably not going to complain with that.
I think with Tim, it's more about the censorship aspect. He stated on several occasions he's for censorship. You know what I mean? And only as far as, like I've mentioned before, guardrails on liberty and young minds. You know what I mean? You can't subvert a young mind before it's even fucking matured yet and expect the next generation to turn out all right. You know what I mean? So I think that's more along the lines where he's going. I don't think he gives two shits about who owns it. I mean, as long as they weren't spreading fucking the filth that's on there, man. And
Yeah,
they promote it.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say actually, yeah, I ain't gonna try and conflate to make it think that to make it seem that he cares about who owns it or anything like that. I think, like I said, it's really just about the censorship part of it. And like I said, it really is digital fentanyl. It really is destroying the minds of our youths and stuff like that. But at the same time, if the American government wanted to fight back against this crazy fucking Chinese propaganda that's being shot down the pipes, why don't they just come out and actually tell the fucking truth? Why don't they actually come out and basically just give opposing propaganda? Why don't they actually just come out? Why can't half the fucking judges on the Supreme Court define what a fucking woman is? Why can't anybody within the Democrat Party do it? They outright refuse, and it's all because of the fact that they are also propagandized. They're fucking brainwashed. They are fucking zombies, and they're protecting the brainwashing apparatus. The fact that this passed with bipartisan support, which basically means that the Democrats all went in lockstep and the Republicans just basically all it takes is a couple to go ahead and go over to the Democrat side. That's what bipartisan means. The fact that the Democrats are all on board with this type of shit, it really just kind of lets you know, I guess all you need to know, it's all about the censorship. It's all about the control. It's not about fixing. It's not about fucking saving our youth. It's not about actually, protecting the minds of our youth. Because like I said, if you wanted to actually protect the minds of the youth, tell them fucking what reality is, be honest. But again, that's not a function of our government. Fucking, diverging the truth and, being honest and being fucking transparent. That's not a function of our government anymore. So that's fucked on that one.
And like that's been pointed out, lots of times they keep everything secret about the platform, like the algorithms and whatnot. You don't know if your fucking sub count's real or, reactionary counts or what have you. And, the way they make it seem is that this company is just making fucking billions of dollars, bro. Like you try to use a hashtag and it's like, it tells you how many times that hashtag's been used or whatever. And it's like fucking 5 billion and shit like that, And
Right.
so I would assume that it's the control factor. It's the censoring in favor of, Israel fully. I mean, they're pushing the whole Palestinian thing or whatnot. And then on top of that, our government wants that tax revenue, man. You know what I mean? But what are they going to do if they get their fucking wish and it turns out that it's all fucking fake and the company's not really making those dollars, man? You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I mean that's something that our government's constantly looking for is ways to up the tax revenue, even though they collect record fucking numbers on an annual basis at this point.
Right. And again, that's why a lot of investors and stuff will tell you. Again, this isn't this isn't financial advice. I'm not a fucking financial expert by any means whatsoever. I'm not giving anybody advice, but a lot of people will tell you it's not exactly the best idea to invest in Chinese companies because of the fact that the Chinese government is full of fucking shit. They're full of fucking shit. Half those numbers are fucking lies. You don't actually know what's actually going on over there. A lot of fucking shit collapses in China and stuff like that. So yeah, it's just generally not a safe bet to invest with China in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, it's insane to think that that's the number 2 economy on the planet. You know what I'm saying? But they fudge their own numbers. They'll devalue their own currency. I mean, they do a lot of backhanded tricks. That's anything but a free market. They use the free market as far as sales is concerned, but everything else is communist fucking shit, man. Propaganda, revised, and fudge numbers, man. Paper
Yep.
tiger shit. From what I understand, they have entire like cities, apartment complexes built that just sit empty, and it's
Yep.
sold to provide the pretense of we're keeping our people employed and we're this great fucking powerful nation. When in reality, inland, regardless of old John Bay, if that guy ever watches, The interior of that country is poor as fuck. Most people subsist at about $2.50 a day. You know what I mean? You think the coastal elite situation here is unbalanced? There, you're legit fucking you live in the dirt, or you live in a massive fucking metropolis.
Yeah. I was actually watching something about how they handle their homeless problem and stuff. And essentially the reason that you don't see too many homeless within the city is because of the fact that they just have people come in and bust them out to the middle of fucking nowhere. And then they literally just take their homeless problem, take them out to the middle of fucking nowhere and say, good luck.
Don't
come
killed.
back.
Right. Farm shit.
Right. Yep. So that's why you don't see homeless people, within the cities of China.
Hence the reason that you saw old Dracul Gavin Newsom go make a visit to fucking China and then come back and immediately clean up San Francisco for G's return fucking visit. You know what I'm saying? Right. They had to put on face. I mean, which obviously he admitted.
Yeah.
Doing it because people
we clean it up.
Yes, we did.
Yep.
When people
go China.
You clean up your house. That doesn't mean when you leave, they leave you shit on the counter. What the fuck?
Yeah, freaking. But I don't know, man. We'll see what ends up coming of the old TikTok ban. Like I said, it's all just a matter of time until they eventually end up abusing it. I guess it would be pretty cool to see that power in the hands of old Donald Trump's, but at the same time, Donald Trump is against it. I don't think Donald Trump wants that fucking power.
And if you see that right there now, that's one of the things the libs are running with. Now Trump's been bribed by China.
Right. Yep. Better make him divest.
Yeah. But you've seen old Pavlovsky though from Rumble. Yeah, came out and said put in a serious bid as just part of conglomerate that's going to come together to make a serious fucking multi-billion-dollar bid. And he's serious about it. They said, we've already had the infrastructure in place, the video viewer, yada, yada. But I got to tell you, I mean, obviously I have a TikTok account. I really don't use it except for just the post, basically. Rarely ever scroll. I subscribe to like maybe 5 pages. But the video players and the editing options, shit like that, second to none on there, man. It's fucking one of the best performing platforms I've ever fucking used.
Yeah. Shit. Fuck it. I say we steal the fucking technology outright, fucking block China's fucking version of it, and then literally, what are you gonna do?
Right.
What the fuck you gonna do? Yeah, we stole your shit. The fuck you gonna do, China?
Yeah. I don't know if you have it anywhere, if it's easy to pull up, but the Pelosi clip, fucking hilarious in Congress when she's talking about it. We're not talking about getting rid of tic-tac. We're talking about making it better. Tic-tac-toe. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck, man? You are drunk. Yeah, too much, man.
Find it real quick.
Pretty quick snippet that was cruising around the inner zones, man. It's like fucking 20 seconds, but just, man, she's always fucked up. Especially now she's not speaker. She's just like, fuck it, dude. She just comes into the chambers all fucked up. So I'm like, what are you in here?
This one?
Yeah. Yep.
This is not an attempt to ban TikTok. It's an attempt to make TikTok better. Tic-tac-toe. A winner. A winner.
Fucking lunatic, shit. Man. It couldn't have got any better unless her teeth fell out.
That face.
Found it on the podium, dude.
Pause it right at the perfect time and shit. Right.
Dude.
Jesus. Yep. But yeah, fucking I say we'll have to wait to see how it goes, man. Fucking I did actually want to ask talk about one more thing real quick before you get ready to get out of here, man. So what do you think of the theory of basically Nikki Haley running under a uniparty ticket? Like what do you think about the idea of an actual uniparty ticket under the actual name, the Uniparty.
the no names just taking a name,
Right.
fucking right, or no labels, whatever the fuck. I mean, I don't know who the fuck do you think that she would run with, man. You think it's going to be Kennedy, or and you know it's not DeSantis because he already gave her a slight verbal lashing for not endorsing Trump. You know what I mean? So I mean, who's her option to run with? You know what I
Right.
mean?
Fucking what's your name? Fucking Miss Piggy up there.
Liz Cheney and shit.
Yeah, fucking Liz Cheney. And then the unipartyists, man, like fucking they used to be Republicans, but then they came to their senses.
Right.
Now they're fighting for our American democracy.
Let's see.
Yeah,
man. I don't know. I mean, I could see that chick being delusional enough to consider it, but obviously, I don't see it going anywhere. And you know, like I just heard a debate just recently about this, and they were saying like, you know, basically like, where's Trump going to gain, you know, voters that's going to push him over? You know, how's he going to, you know, can he get Nikki Haley voters? And it's like, dude, he's just gained like fucking 50 points in the black male community. And basically, you know, the Latino vote has swung like 17 points in this direction. So ultimately, he doesn't need those fucking rhinos. And we also know a lot of her voters weren't really her voters. They were Democrats in open primaries, man.
Yep. But I mean, not even if not Nikki Haley, like about just a unipartyist, which basically they'll tote the notion of, oh, let's get back to sanity, guys. Let's get back to, you know, the way that things should be. Let's get back to, you know, our American democracy, the way that things have been, you know, like let's stop this. Let's stop all this you know, division and stuff like that. It's time for the uniparty. Like I said, it sounds funny, but I mean, in reality, that is a possibility. You know, there's a lot of it'd basically be the MAGAs versus the not MAGAs. You know, I mean, really, that's if a uniparty were to actually come together, that's quite literally what it would turn into. It'd turn into our small little fucking MAGA. It's not small; it's growing rapidly. But you know, our basically our MAGA crew versus the unipartists, which, you know, Ben Shapiro basically said today that, you know, he's fully endorsing Donald Trump. He's going to vote for the motherfucker. Matter of fact, he's going to throw a fundraiser for the guy. You know, but that's just because that's the choice that he's left with now. You know, I'm sure fucking if even if Ron DeSantis were to fucking like, actually, yeah, I'll run on that ticket. You know, fucking just because he just, you know, licks his thumb and fucking sticks it wherever the wind's blowing and shit. But you know, if he were to come out and like, oh yeah, I'll go ahead and fucking run on the uniparty ticket, like, yeah, let's unite the country again. You know, that would take a large chunk of the people that are basically just like, well, Trump's our nominee, so I'll vote for him. You know.
Yeah, I mean, you'd hope people have more fucking scruples than that. You know what I'm saying? And you don't expect that, of course, with the left. I mean, I think that if they gave him pretty much any alternate candidate, if they just toted the party line, they'd vote for him, right? But with us, I mean, you see, like and I don't want to say us like groupthink. I shouldn't even phrase it that way. But you know, the vast percentage of right-wing voters have coalesced, and you know, they kind of like stick to the gun, and you've seen that in the primary. Like, I mean, you've seen these people try, and the best Nikki Haley could do was fucking win DC, bro. And that is the standard of the uniparty. That shows you that they would vote for her. You know what I mean? But is there enough of those? Because I don't think the uniparty would attract that extreme left vote.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that right at this point, with Biden hemorrhaging votes like in the African community, the Latin community, I think that that's what will carry him, you know, through if it gets to that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And definitely Haley's not. Even the leftists that voted for her in primaries, it was strictly just a fuck you to fucking Trump schools. You know what I mean? And I think when it comes down to it, that they're gonna stick with whoever fucking the Democrats say this is your fucking social justice warrior.
Right. Standing up for what's right.
Right.
Making sure people of color have easy access to abortions.
There's some chick stake out her fucking big hairy nutsack on the White House lawn.
Dude, you remember when Roe v. Wade was first overturned and shit? That was the fucking messaging, you know, like the old Margaret Sanger days and shit. Like, we need to make sure that the low income communities and women of color have access to reproductive health. Like, and then fucking, you know, slowly as people start like pointing out, like, why is it so important that people of color have access to it? Like, why do you keep pointing out people of color? Like, you know, they stopped saying it. But for the first couple of months after the overturning of Roe v. Wade, that was the fucking messaging coming from the left hand side. Is we need to make sure that women of color have access to reproductive health. It's like, why do you have to specify women of color?
Because they're not only racist, but you know, also, you know, blacks tend to reproduce more, you know what I'm saying? And they're all about population control because of the environments, but yet they're all about letting unchecked masses pour through the border with another group of people that tend to reproduce at 3 times the rate of the average American. You know what I mean? So it's everything they do.
Those people are hardworking and grateful.
Right. My favorite one is the Venezuelan chick they used in a story, and they're like, you know, she's fleeing fucking starvation and economic woes, and this chick weighs like 300 fucking pounds. You know what I mean? And on the side, they were like, she's starving, and it was like an X-ray of a skeleton just surrounded by mass layers of fat. Dude. You know what I'm saying? Dude.
Right. Seeking a better life, man. She's been fucking told that she needs to go on a diet. That's fucking political persecution. Man, we can't have that. You come to America, we will affirm your life choices down to every last fucking cheeseburger and fucking mozzarella stick. We will affirm your choices and pay for them.
I guess it depends on where she crossed, because, you know, Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, it's so Taco Bell Grande.
Right.
And on every goddamn corner here, man. Just so anybody watching that's not from Arizona, hey, this is if you ever want a taco, just fucking walk outside.
Right.
You know what we need here is another Mexican restaurant.
I remember like a couple years back, fucking we passed a city ordinance to allow fucking basically like, you know, cart vendors, you know, like rolling cart vendors, or like fucking, you know, like luggage vendors to sell fucking homemade burritos and shit like that, like downtown or like within the city, you know. But yeah, we got them everywhere.
Yep, that's burritos I've ever had in my damn life, dude. 22nd and Buckeye, little roach coach, man. And I got you know, the carne asada, of course, and that son of a bitch was like 2 pounds, and it had cabbage in it. Never had another one with cabbage automatically in it, but fucking fire, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking, I like fucking caramellos. I'm a meat and cheese type guy, you know.
I mean, as far as that goes, my local joint, Sammy's here. You know, immigrants came here, started their little pop up inside of a pizza joint, serving burritos at night when the pizza place closed. Now they've moved up, opened their own place. The owner there was running for governor here in Arizona, you know, a couple years ago here, Jorge Rivas. And, you know, him and his wife have been on stage with old Trump. They have rallies for him. He parks his bus out there periodically. Rallies for Trump, bikers and whatnot tend to start there. You know, that's my joint. Less than 2 minutes from my front door, man.
Fuck yeah. Yep. Shit, I got a bunch of fucking feral cats and fucking homeless people 2 minutes from my front door.
I mean, obviously I'm out here in the desert, but like I said, even out here in the desert, there's fucking plenty of tacos.
Right. Shit, fuck yeah. All right, man. Shit, anything else you want to throw in before we roll on out of here?
Just remember, fucking don't listen to the fucking news, the polls. Don't listen to no red wave shit. Get your ass out there, fucking use your fucking civil responsibility, vote, and make sure you check on that vote.
All right. Be relentless.
Yep. Vote harder.
Yeah. I can go steal your neighbor's ballots. Just kidding. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Right, we're not looking for a Superman. We're looking for a cutthroat corporatist that's going to come in and fucking fire everybody.
Right. Yep. Shit. Well, All right, man. We appreciate you guys stopping by. Make sure you guys check out the link below. We do have merch available. We'll be posting more stuff up there. I'll be able to get this shirt out there soon. Be able to get that shirt that this guy's wearing. We'll also have different sorts of coffee mugs, ones with the the logo on it and stuff like that. You gotta have all kinds of stuff. But we got a couple items up there right now. But yeah, I'll be posting more real soon. Definitely go ahead and stop by, check them out. But yeah, other than that, we appreciate you guys for stopping by. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share this video with your friends and family. Let us know what you guys think in the comment section below. And as always, fuck off.
Later.